So let's get to this Unity Reform Commission, because when we talked to Keith Ellison during the campaign, during the DNC campaign, and to Tom Paris and Pete Buttigieg and the others, and we would ask about caucuses, ask about closed primaries, ask about superdelegates. Always, the Unity Commission is going to take care of that.
Yeah, right.
Larry Mann, it is all on your shoulders, right? Okay.
Right.
As co-chair, can you say what you think should happen to superdelegates?
Yeah, well, first of all, the resolution has a lot of detail. I should have thought of it and brought it, because actually the detail is, but on what happens to superdelegates. So basically, the ones who are elected members of Congress, their role in some ways will stay the same in terms of their ability to independently decide on candidates. Now, when they decide that and other things can be obviously regulated by the commission, but everything the commission does goes to the DNC. So one of the things that I paid a lot of attention to this weekend is, okay, how is this DNC thing going to go when we come back here after now what'll be 8 months of a lot of work, hundreds of hours for each of us. So the other superdelegates, like me, will be taken out of the process of deciding who the nominee is. So we still would be delegates without having to run for election, and that's I was for, openly eliminate all superdelegates. I actually campaigned for that during the campaign itself.
Yeah.
That's not what got established at the convention. Bernie made an agreement not to go to the floor on that. That was our plank.
Right.
And that's where the Unity Reform Commission came about, and it was actually enacted at the commission, at the convention.
All right. Now, I understand. Let's pick my senior senator, Dianne Feinstein, right? I definitely agree she should be a superdelegate. She's put in years and years and years of service with the Democratic Party. She should not have to go out and grovel and run to be a delegate.
Right.
But I do believe, so she gets a seat at the convention, but I think she should have to vote the way the people of California vote at the convention. She should not be able to ignore, if the people in California, let's say, went for Bernie, she could not vote for Hillary.
Yeah, well, so that did not get established at the convention in Philadelphia. It did that to all the rest of us.
Is it still possible?
That's a good question. We'd have to look at the resolution. It's 2 pages, single space.
But your commission is to come up with these recommendations. Not they didn't force you to.
Well, they forced some things, and that's a good thing, because instead of 715 people who can make up their own mind, and CNN and others were flashing 400 for Clinton before the Iowa caucus even began.
Right.
That's over.
Okay.
And so that's good. But they did, based on a bunch of pressure, at least for now, leave the role of the members of Congress and the governors intact to make up their own mind. The rest of us would still be delegates, but we would be bound by our states.
Right. And how about caucuses? Come on, let's get rid of caucuses once and for all. Sorry, Iowa. But it's not
all
democratic.
Right, so wait a second. Don't throw me in there yet with that.
Okay, all right. No, I'm not. I'm just...
Okay, that's a good point of view. So here's what I would say, is that we need to open up, if there are caucuses, which there are, we need to open them up where the good thing about Iowa is you can show up. It's open. Mm-hmm. You can become a Democrat that day. We need that kind of inclusivity, in my view, to win elections, not just caucuses. But Iowa needs to be transparent. It needs to be clear. There were 1,666, don't hold me to that number exactly, caucuses in Iowa. There's no results in terms of who showed up and what the numbers are. Not even the numbers. There's no numbers given out. It's got to be opened up. And secondly, there's got to be an absentee process. Washington State has a caucus. Good. You sign an affidavit, and you're there, whether you're there or not, and you get to vote ahead of time.
All right. Here's a man. He is right in the heart of it, man, on every battle, fighting a good fight for all of us progressives all around the country. And thank you so much for coming in this morning, but especially thanks for fighting the good fight all the way through.
And you too. Cohen. Great to be with you guys.
And you can join him. It's a big thing. You can join him. Our Revolution.
Easy to join.
Easy to join, and they'll welcome you with open arms.